It's January 3rd, 1:32 a.m. Eastern, and Bitcoin just hit $34,000. Many people out there getting that 2017 bull market high nostalgia. And in this video, I want to discuss exactly why this is nothing like the 2017 bull market high. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like. On the way in, let's jump into this Bitcoin video. This is the hourly chart. This is what has transpired. We've been tracking this. I'm going to end this video with this chart. It'll be in the pinned comment below. But let's start. First off, one Bitcoin, $34,000. Right now, obviously, just slightly below that, $33,920. Look at this monthly chart, everybody. Just soak it in. That's all. I'm not even going to talk about this monthly chart. I just want you to soak it in, what has just transpired in the last 4 months. And this is significant because this marks the beginning of the Bitcoin bull market, not the end like 2017. I tweeted earlier, what you see happening right now in Bitcoin is in no way similar to the 2017 bull market high. That was the end of the bull market cycle. This is the beginning of the bull market cycle. This is exactly the moment we have waited years for. And I meant that literally. This is me doing a video, Bitcoin trading at like $4,900 on November 19th, 2018. Bitcoin down, buying Bitcoin fear and being long. And we were discussing, you can see on the screen here, the bear market low. We were discussing the bear market low, and this was just a data range based on historical context and the cycles of Bitcoin. And in the same way, right now, we are discussing Bitcoin just beginning the bull market. And so right here, this is the long-term chart. This is Bitcoin on the monthly beginning the bull market. Here's Bitcoin last cycle ending the bull market. Here's Bitcoin last cycle beginning the bull market. And I think it was somewhere in this range. We're getting a very similar time on the charts right now. So this is the cycle of Bitcoin. This is all about the halving. This is all about Bitcoin going through this cycle, and I want to break that down for you in this video. So let's just kind of zoom in on the charts. And this is the last Bitcoin cycle. This is 2013 bull market high, right? Here's the 2015 bear market low. That's one cycle. It exits that, enters the bull market right here. If you've been on this YouTube channel, I talk about the Fibonacci retracement. It's the bull market doors. It is the bull market high to bear market low. Bitcoin re-breaking this Fibonacci, this green channel, is Bitcoin exiting that bear market and entering the bull market and kind of starting this new cycle, right? And that is Bitcoin doing that 2016 into 2017. On to the 2017 bull market high, right? Now Bitcoin just recently did a similar thing, a cycle, bull market high to the bear market low, December 2018, right around when I was doing that video you just saw. And you can just see Bitcoin now has entered the bull market doors, and this just happened in November. We were talking about it forever, and it just happened. We broke through, and we've just been continuing to the upside. Now, a couple things to note on this chart. And this is really important if you haven't really studied the cycles of Bitcoin and understood what's happening right now. When Bitcoin entered the bull market, right? And I'm going to keep calling them bull market doors. It's the easiest way to say it. This Fibonacci resistance. Bitcoin broke that and went on to, obviously that 2017 bull market high. If you look at where Bitcoin is right now and the same move that it just did in the last few months, couple months, right now, Bitcoin is up around 108%, okay? And it's just getting started. When Bitcoin broke through those doors back then, right, Bitcoin, if you want to measure this move similarly, around 3 or 4 months later, 108%. So Bitcoin is like right on track, doing almost exactly what it did last cycle. But what did it do? It continued on and put in 1,700% gains, right, from breaking those bull market doors. Now, I'm not sitting here saying what you do is you would measure 1,700%. I'm not saying that's where Bitcoin's going, in the next year. That would be a almost $300,000 Bitcoin. Many people are projecting that. And from historical data, if history repeated itself perfectly in this regard, it would hit in that upper range of $300,000, right around there. And that's not what I'm saying though. But what I am saying is we are up around little over 100%, and it is very harmonious with Bitcoin in its third or fourth month into the last bull market, up around the similar amounts. Now, if we go back to this chart, you can actually see every cycle the gains get a little less, right? Here's 2011, 3,600%, 1,600% gains, 345% gains, speculative 215% gains. And what I'm measuring there is basically, if my memory serves me, I did this a long time ago, I'm measuring basically the bull market high to bull market high, right? And 1,600% gains there. So, the gains are getting less every cycle, and that's okay. But when we look at this chart, it's clear as day that is just getting started. And we can actually take this monthly chart and go to the RSI. And let me just remove a couple things so this looks clean. But look, Bitcoin entering the bull market again back in 2017 area right here, comparatively to Bitcoin entering the bull market right here. Look at the RSI on the monthly chart in these areas, kind of hanging out this 80 area, right? And similarly, Bitcoin just on the monthly chart right in this similar area, a little higher with even stronger upward momentum. We didn't have institutional buyers, right? We didn't have PayPal buying up pretty much all of the newly mined Bitcoin coming into circulation back then. We do now, and that could be just this. There's been no consolidation, which we've been waiting for, similar to this monthly consolidation before continuation. I've been waiting for it. There's no question about that. If you've watched some of my recent videos in the last month or two, talking about potential dips, it hasn't happened. And we basically have been saying it's going to be fun to see if Bitcoin really defies just that whole dip scenario. And these dips really have been getting bought up very quickly. So real quick, I want to just talk about this. Do you recognize this move? Zoomed in, it's interesting because it's not as easily recognizable, but this is the bull market high of 2017. The euphoria involved in this area in that $20,000 range. Just imagine right now, everybody, we're right now at $34,000 years later, but we're talking 96% overextension from the 50-day moving average. I mean, it's almost like a record. I think zooming out on the charts, it's just one of the most overextended areas on Bitcoin charts. And if we look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin overextended 61% from the 50-day moving average on the daily chart. So it is moving a little bit like the bull market high, right? There's some similarities in that regard. It looks parabolic. There's no question about that, but it is not like the bull market high of 2017. We are in completely opposite part of the cycle, the Bitcoin cycle. And that's very important to note because the potential for upside with everything happening in Bitcoin right now is so strong. And in terms of gauging dips, obviously, as we study the recent data, and we've been looking at the hourly chart very closely lately, Bitcoin, the dips have been bought up so quickly. We just had a $3,000 dip. That was like my last video. And I'm sitting here doing a video. It's almost 2 a.m. because Bitcoin has just made so many moves, and I just want to keep this content updated. But look at this dip from earlier. We're talking about this swing low around 10%, immediately bought up, continuation to the upside. Now, what happened here? I tweeted a little bit, after we got the bounce, Bitcoin was testing an area around 32,655. I said, Bitcoin currently testing a key pattern trend line in 786 resistance on a micro Fibonacci. Don't even tell me Bitcoin's about to make another run for it. Mainly because I'm like, tell me I got to do another video. Are you serious, Bitcoin? And this is it. This is the move that Bitcoin just made. Fibonacci retracement, that swing high to swing low. Here's the resistance channel. Bitcoin was testing it when I tweeted it, and that wasn't long ago. I mean, when did I tweet that? 8:31 p.m. earlier this evening. Bitcoin broke through that Fibonacci resistance. Now, we pretty much have hit the target out of this rising, ascending, whatever you want to call it, broadening wedge, this megaphone-like pattern that you see on the screen. Bitcoin just, it made a run for it. It was not long ago. I think this might have been yesterday, just doing a video somewhere down here talking about, wow, Bitcoin looks really far from that upper trend line. Let's see if it can make it. it did make it once and then twice, broke through, hit the target pretty much out of that ascending broadening wedge. And interestingly enough, we do have some data to work with on these short-term charts. If you're tracking this going into tonight, this is what you want to watch for. Will there be continuous consolidation? Will there be these mini dips that Bitcoin is just doing? And what will that look like? We have a couple areas. This upper trend line, this is the broadening wedge trend line. That's around 3% to the downside. And then this other trend line that we've really talked a lot about in recent weeks. It's around a 7% move to this trend line. Now that trend line, I have to kind of leave the hourly and at least go to, let's try a 6 hour. If you zoom out on the 6 hour, this trend line going all the way back to like October or so, this needs to be moved down a little bit. But just this trend line, and it's very synergistic with a similar move Bitcoin made all the way back in the summer 2019. And we've just finally reached this top, right? And Bitcoin tested that upper trend line before consolidating back then. And we said, let's see what Bitcoin does. Let's compare it. Let's see how strong Bitcoin is. And now you can see Bitcoin actually broke through the upper end of that trend line and is still going. But what I'm doing, at least in my own technical analysis, is I'm using that trend line as now support. And at the end of the day, again, when we zoom out on this hourly chart, Bitcoin is just breaking all-time highs over and over again. If you want to just imagine it as $1,000 moves, we can actually, I just did this in a video earlier, right? I charted a couple more $1,000 moves. So let's just put a $33,000 move. Bitcoin, as I do this video, above 34,000. Let's plot that. Every move Bitcoin gets to the upside is very good for you. If you're a person out there that's like, dude, there's going to be a dip. I'm just waiting. I don't know when it's going to be. But the reason it's good for you is because there's so much cushion at this point. We talk about 30% dips a lot on this YouTube channel. It just hasn't happened, everybody. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe there's just too much demand. But just to give you an idea, 30% dip, $23,000 now. That's how much padding there is in Bitcoin right now. And so the room for upside, even with massive consolidation of 30% dips, the room for upside is explosive. There's so much room for upside. And if you go to a monthly chart, it's illustrated on the RSI. There's a ton of room over the next year or so for Bitcoin to make some crazy gains. But one thing I just want to just remind you all of, this isn't the same move happening right now as the bull market high of 2017. I get that the parabolic move and the feel of it is there, but it's nothing like it because we are just entering the bull market. And back in 2017, and that December 2017 swing high, that was Bitcoin ending the bull market cycle. So that's where we are. I wanted to do an update, just kind of micro and macro charts. Everybody, this is awesome. I mean, 3 videos in one day and Bitcoin just like moving like crazy. It's fun. I don't know what else to say. Like, I do this for fun, and this is just really cool to track. So I appreciate all of you cruising by. If you're watching it this late, I'm sure by the time you watch this in the morning, if you're watching this in the morning, Bitcoin's probably going to either be at like 36,000 or like 28,000 or something like that, right? But hit that subscribe, hit that like, turn those notification bells on. Appreciate all of you. I really do. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.